Hello brewtubers, and thanks for tuning in again on Homebeerbrewery's channel. It's about 7:30, so it's early in the morning and I'm enjoying a fresh cup of coffee. Today it's actually a brew day. I'm going to brew a beer for our experiment on the end of this brew day. I will show you what grains I'm going to use and what kind of hops. It's a very simple recipe. I don't want to put a lot of ingredients in this batch and not too much time because it's more for an experiment. So let's see what I'm going to use for brewing this batch of beer. I've pre-measured all the malts. I have 5.2 kg of standard pale malt, 30 grams of roast malt, 80 grams of special B and 300 grams of caramel malt, Cara 120. For this brew I'm using 30 grams of Admiral hops. That's going to be the bitter hop. I'm going to add it at 60 minutes left on the boil. For the aroma I'm using Willamette, 20 grams at 2 minutes left on the boil. I didn't tell you yet what kind of yeast I'm going to use, but that's something for the end of this video. Over here I have the recipe. This total batch size will be 25 liters, about 26 liters of wort, and I'm shooting for a specific gravity of 1.048. I'm going to fill the Braumeister with 27.5 liters of water, and I'm going to sparge with about 8 liters of water, maybe a little bit more. I don't know exactly, but I will check the gravity on the end of the mash. So I'm shooting for 1.048, more or less. And that's how 27.5 liters of water looks like, guys. As you can see, I switched on the Braumeister on the controller. That's my tap water temperature. I filled the Braumeister with hot tap water. It saves me a lot of time and electricity to become to the desired temperature. For this brew I'm going to do a very simple and quick mash. Going to edit a recipe. The first recipe is for my IPA. Second one we're going to edit it. We're going to mash in at 63 degrees Celsius. Alright, 63 for about 70 minutes. And the second step will be at 78 degrees for about 5 minutes. Down. 78 for 0 and this one 78 also for 0. So after a mash of 70 minutes at 63 degrees Celsius, I'm going to do a second step mash and it's at 78 degrees Celsius for 5 minutes, and then it will quit the mashing process. Everything is 0, boiling. I always do that on the maximum so the element won't switch off. I'm going to boil for 70 minutes. Yes. Hop additions, that's going to be under 60 minutes left on the boil. And 2 minutes left on the boil. No, I'm going to use this mash step for remind me to add the roll log tablet and the wort chiller. So at 50 minutes left on the boil I'm going to add the wort chiller and the roll log tablet. 5 minutes left on the boil. It's going to be 2 minutes left on the boil. That's going to be the aroma hop gift. Select. Well, this is the complete mash step. Going to boil at 103 degrees Celsius for 70 minutes. Hop addition at 60 minutes left on the boil. Going to add the wort chiller and a roll log tablet at 15 minutes left on the boil. and aroma hops are going to boil for only 2 minutes. Let's start with recipe number 2. He asked me, is the water filled in? We saw that, I did that. The water is now 57 degrees Celsius and it's going to heat up the water to the desired temperature of 63 degrees Celsius. It's going to ventilate the pump. It's going to switch on and off the pump a couple of times till there are no air pockets anymore in the pump. And it is already completed. There's no air anymore in the pump. The temperature of 63 degrees is reached. Going to continue with select. And now it tells me to fill in the malts. Alright, it's time to add the malt pipe. I'm adding just the malt like this and I'm going to stir it very well to avoid dough balls. It's pretty easy. This is the best part of the brew day, I guess, in my opinion. The smell of the mash, the beginning of the mash, is so good. I didn't correct the pH of the mash yet. I'm going to do that when I start the mash on a controller. I will add some lactic acid to it to correct the pH to about 5.5. Let's dump it all in there. And let's give it a very good stir. The malt pipe is restricted to about 6 kilograms of malts, but I did a brew once with a little bit more. It's doable, especially when you start with more mash water than the maximum on the manual tells you to. For my brews I always use 27.5 liters of mash water. So it looks good to me. Yeah, it's mixed up very well. No dough balls anymore. Let's put the fine mash in first, like this, and then the filter plate, here it goes. Stainless steel bar over it, and the wing nut. Let's tight it. Alright, we did fill in the malt pipe and the malt, so we're going to continue with select. He asked me again, is the malt filled in? Yes, select. And the Braumeister isn't completely leveled, but I'm going to fix this in a couple of seconds. I'm going to correct the pH with a little bit of lactic acid. Normally a small amount will do the job. Approximately something of this, and put it on the side of the malt pipe so it the pump will circulate it through the mash, and then I will measure the pH. After about 4 minutes of recirculation, I'm going to test the pH with a pH paper. It tells me the pH is about 6, I guess 6, but that's fine to me. I'm not going to add any more lactic acid. I'm planning to do the mash inside the brewery today, but I'm going to boil outside. Finally, it's good weather. This is the bittering hop, 30 grams of Admiral. Always a challenge to get exactly the amount of 30 grams. 30.1, that's fine, looks fine to me. Again, for the aroma hops I'm going to use Willamette, and I'm using 20 grams. Here we go, 20 grams guys, no, 19.9. Wait, well, this is 20, come on, 20. That can't be right. Yay! During the pump break you can already see the wort is very clear. Beautiful. Beautiful dark brown, goldish color. Mashing already for 55 minutes. As you can see, the temperature is 63.5 degrees, and that's only a half degree off the set temperature. It showed the message pump break again, and what it does is it switches off the pump to loosen the malt. When you constantly pump the wort through the malt pipe, the malt will compact in the malt pipe, and for that reason they added a pause in their mash schedule, so the filter plate and the malt will become loose again, and then it start over pumping the wort through the malt pipe. Looks legit to me. It reached the second stage temperature. As you can see, it started the second mash for 5 minutes at 78 degrees Celsius. The Braumeister is almost at the end of the mash stage. I'm going to prepare the Sparge water. Over here I have my liquor tank. I will add about 8.5 liters of hot tap water in it, and I will heat it up to 78 degrees. I have the Sparge water ready at 78 degrees Celsius. I will turn the heat element off, and I guess we just have to wait to the mash out. My precious. Great job, buddy. Start test. Looks good to me. Yep. No purple or blue color. Stays the same. Well, the mash is completed, as you can see on the message on the controller of the Braumeister. It tells me to remove the malt pipe. Let's go. Hot, 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 hot. Don't try this at home. Use gloves. Removing the wing nut. Stainless steel bar. Let's put it aside. I need to lift the malt pipe out of the Braumeister. Let's do it the homebeerbrewery style. I'm carefully lifting the malt pipe out of the Braumeister, step by step. The hoist is so easy to use. It makes your brew day so much easier. I'm removing the big filter plate. And as I told you earlier, I prepared Sparge water of 78 degrees Celsius. I'm going to sparge this grain bed with about 8 liters of water, maybe 8.5. I'm already going to command the Braumeister to start boiling. He asked me again, continue with select, yes. So during the sparge it will heat up to the desired boiling temperature. It will take a while, so let's continue the sparging process. You can also choose to remove the fine filter and stir the upper 5 centimeters or so of the grain bed. By that way you will fill the hole that's in the center of the post. I will show you inside what I mean. What I meant to say is that in the center of the grain bed there is a big hole in it because of the center post of the Braumeister. When you just remove the first 5 centimeters or so of the grain bed, you cover that hole, and in my opinion you will get a better efficiency because the water doesn't flow directly through the hole to the bottom of the malt pipe. As you can see, I'm sparging very slowly. I spread it all over the grain bed. As you can see, it's easy sparging with the Braumeister. Lifting the malt pipe higher. When the sparge is completed, I will drive the Braumeister outside for the boil. Looks pretty easy, right? this at home. Don't try this at home. Now I just have to wait for the boil. So it's almost at the boil. I'm going to remove the lid. I removed the lid because a boil over will happen very fast when you are distracted. So I'm cleaning the malt pipe and stuff, and that's the reason why I don't want to risk a boil over. So I already removed the lid. So we are at the boil right now. It's boiling for about 2 minutes and 30 seconds. As you can see on the control of the Braumeister, it shows a temperature of 99 degrees Celsius and the boiling time has started. Total boil time of 70 minutes. In about 7 minutes I'm going to add the first hop addition. Time for a hop addition, a 60-minute left on the boil hop addition. Here we go. It's always 5 o'clock somewhere, right? Cheers, guys. You can warm up your wort chiller very easily to put it on top of the Braumeister, so it will absorb the heat of the condensation, and by that way the temperature won't drop as far as a cold wort chiller is added. So it's almost time to add the wort chiller. It's time to add the wort chiller and the yeast nutrient. Attaching the hoses, cold water line and hot water outlet. 10 minutes left on the boil. Time to add a Wilflow tablet. Two minutes left on the boil. Time for 20 grams of Willamette hops. The last hop addition. The boiling process is finished. Brewing completed. Adding cold tap water to the wort chiller. The temperature of the wort is about 19.5 degrees Celsius. I've sanitized the Speidel fermenter. Now it's time to transfer the wort. Sanitizing the spigot. the valve of the Braumeister. A little bit of star sand. This should work. I'm going to take a gravity sample. Sample will be very cloudy for sure. This I'm going to dump. So I dumped the first couple of milliliters and I'm going to take a gravity sample. Alright, I will set this aside. Let's remove the lid of the fermenter. Placing the fermenter under the valve of the Braumeister, and let's open it. By this way it aerates very well. Let's take a look inside. Check the color on this one. Check this out guys, really nice, clear wort, almost at the end. I have to be honest with you guys, I took another gravity sample to show you the clarity of the wort. And as you can see, the original gravity is 1.051 or so. I'm very happy with the result. Well, brew day is finished. I ended up with approximately 24 liters of wort in this fermenter. That's a real downside of this fermenter guys. Speidel, you have to address that problem. You have to print liter markings on this. It's a pain in the ass, you can't see how much wort is in there right now. You can only guess. The specific gravity was 1.051. I could get more wort out of the Braumeister. I had to tilt it, but I choose to add only clear wort and not wort with the truth what's on the bottom of the Braumeister. So I'm pleased with the result. The only thing what's left is fermenting the wort so it becomes beer. I could use standard Seville USO5 as this recipe calls. In the beginning of this video I told you this is some kind of an experiment, and guys, I'm not sure that I know what I'm doing, but that's called an experiment. I'm going to end this video. You guys have to wait, I apologize. This video is long, but you have to wait for the next video so you could see what I did with this batch of wort, I have to say. Only thing what's left is cleaning the Braumeister. I already started, but meanwhile I'm making this video. Thanks for watching all guys. Please like, comment and subscribe to my channel. Cheers, speak to you all soon. Bye bye.